Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my tripod together. We'll figure it out. It'll be okay. I'm a little late this morning, and I apologize. Thank you, sweetheart. We have somebody on live today. Want to see how everybody was doing? A little behind the scenes art creation. As we get started here. Got a little bit of a late start. And that's okay, because I'm still here. And it's all good. And it's the bubble painting, which I'm super excited about because I love this painting. See, hi Leah, how are you? Lorna says hi, hello, or hello. Hi Lorna, hi Crystal, how are you? Good afternoon to you. Lorna says to you and your man, thank you so much. Leah says hi lovely, hi, how are you? Yeah, I got a little bit of a late start today. You know, it's funny, I started watching the replay of last night's live, and I think I'm starting to understand how I come across a little differently to other people. Because I was watching the video and I was like, you know, to the uninitiated, you would think there might be something different about that girl. And that's when I knew. It's really funny because I'm starting to like discover more and more things about me, and it helps with the art, which is really great. But I'm really learning that like the masking, how much I used to do that and how much that affected like everything around me, because now that I'm not masking so much anymore and I'm just me, I'm like, wow, some instances I really come across very differently. And it's really eye-opening to see. I highly recommend everybody do something similar, just so you understand and know yourself a little bit more, because I really gained a lot of insight by seeing myself on camera. It's like, wow. But I'm just being me, so it's like, it's just who I am. I think we all have like different parts of us that are just like that, and we can be so many people all the time. I think psychologists and everybody say that, from what I understand, there's like so much of us, and all it is like our different parts of our personality that come through our life experiences and then come out in certain areas, and it's completely interesting to observe it. Isn't it? Megan says, I love your personality. Thank you. You are my people. I love you, Megan. Thank you so much. Leah says, I love how you are so full of life and spark. Wish everyone could be like that. Thank you for saying so, Leah. That's so nice. Oh my gosh, I love you guys so much. I really do appreciate that. I really, honestly, truly do. I'll tell you, I've been working so hard on myself. And I think everybody should. Like, who's more interesting than you, right? Like, if you get to spend your whole life discovering who you are, like, yay! You know, it's really neat. Like, and then you can't really compare yourself to anybody else, but you can see what their life experiences are. And it's like, wow, I completely relate to that. And I think it's so much fun when you get into it. Maybe that's what tribing's all about. I don't know. I don't understand the tribing thing. I don't understand so much. But it's okay. I don't need to. As long as I'm happy, healthy, and the people around me are taken care of, and we're all doing pretty good, I'm pretty happy. One thing I constantly remind myself, I'm like, if you're not Lars, oh well. People like disagree with me, but nobody ever does. I love everybody. My paints are a little frozen. You guys are honestly just the best ever. I really love coming online and connecting with everybody. It's really cool to see everybody's different personalities and the questions that everybody has. The questions, I have to say, you guys ask some amazing questions. I would never think to ask the questions that you do. And I appreciate it so much, because every time you ask a question, you actually, so many other people can challenge that in themselves and grow as an individual. And it's so neat. I love it. Lars is doing schoolwork today, but he is in the studio. I'm going to ask that I borrow his phone so I can see if I'm missing any comments. Honey, can I borrow your phone so I can see if I have any comments? I assumed that was part of the question. Was it not, or were you just honestly just waiting?
I was paying attention to an article.
Oh, did you hear me ask the first time?
No. This is all new to me.
This is all new.
Like most things.
See, and I think that's a huge difference. I can like all the things all at once.
There you go.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
See if it shows that I'm on live here. So, oh yeah, it does. Okay, good. Oh, there's Ryan. I said, he says, is Facebook blocking my comments again? I hope not. I truly hope not. Laura says, it's snowing. I get to shovel soon. Oh, no. Yuck. Yuck for sure. Ooh, I am so sorry. Shoveling's no fun. No fun. I get you on that so much. I feel, no, I am not looking forward to shoveling season. And it's one of those things, like, if you don't shovel it, you have to shovel. Like, it has to be cleared because you don't want that ice thing. And then if you don't do it, like, I'll fully admit there have been plenty of times where I'm like, this is not a safe driveway because we have not shoveled in a while. And the buildup is real. I hope Amazon doesn't come and try and deliver something because they're not making it. But you know, it's one of those, it's such a toss up between like, do I go out there and get really super uncomfortable or just not order anything for a while? Sometimes it's a tough decision. Other times it's really easy. Ryan, how are you? How's everything going? Morning Morgan, says Ryan, finally caught you live. Yay! Megan says, I love your personality. You are many people. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I was seeing that there's other comments here. Again, I don't know what's with the comments half the time. So I don't want to get too distracted on it. Oh, yep. And Laura says, yes, and the mail people can sue you if they trip or slip. Absolutely, they can. And I would too. Our mailman happens to be amazing. Like, super cool. He's all into, like, vintage comic books and, like, old-timey, like, video games, and we're pretty sure he's a genius. We're pretty darn sure he's a genius. Yeah, the salt for sure is stock now. Megan says it's 60 degrees in central Pennsylvania today. What is even happening? LOL. Is that good? That is pretty warm. In central Pennsylvania, I don't know how cold it gets there. Like up just north of Chicago here, we have the kind of wind that makes you question how permeable your actual system is as a human being, because you feel it in the bolt. Like the wind out here and the cold in the Midwest is seriously something to be reckoned with. It's no joke. So I don't know how it is in Pennsylvania. In my mind, my perception of Pennsylvania is quite mild, but I wouldn't know. Ryan says, I'm doing all right dealing with my grandma's passing. I am so sorry to hear that. Oh, Ryan, I'm sorry for your loss, man. I really am. I bet she was amazing. Grandmas usually are, right? Oh, take some time for yourself and heal, for sure. It'll be interesting to see this year what happens with the weather and the snow. It's always kind of fun to see when the snowmageddons happen. Every first snowfall of every year, they always make it seem like it's the worst thing ever, just so people start to pay attention and get their bread and milk. Their life-saving bread and milk. That is really funny. I think that's always, I've lived down in Texas during my time in the Air Force, and it's always funny to see like people's reaction to snow falling in places that typically don't get snowfall. I'm gonna do some detailed bubble work, I think, on these guys. Ryan says, I'm doing all right. That was the same comment. I want to make sure that I'm seeing everything. I didn't know if I got a new one. Ryan says, don't be sorry, I'll just cry again. I get it. Those are hard emotions to deal with. I've never been really good at that. I get, we all deal with things in different ways, and it's one of those things that however you deal with it is right for you, for sure. Feel all your feelings. Absolutely feel all your feelings. Because everybody should be able to. Forgot this was this paint's been, it's not as warm as I thought it was. It's nice during the summer months because my oil paints tend to warm up pretty quick out of the refrigerator, and then during the winter months when it's the thermostat set at the, well, let's be honest, it's higher than the recommended setting. I get cold. The recommended energy saving settings, it still takes for a little while for these guys to warm up, but they work just fine. So everybody survived Monday. That's fantastic. Let's see. We've been busy over here. I need to post more and do all sorts of things. Getting into a rhythm now that Lars is no longer like leaving every day in the morning has been interesting. It definitely is an adjustment, and one that we're still trying to kind of cope with. Changing schedules. Well, not really changing schedules, but adapting to a new schedule and a new set of habits. And finding the time to like optimize it and see if it's actually working and analyze if it's serving us or if there's something that needs to change, is proving it's proving that we need to do it is what it is. It's coming up for us. Let's see. Ryan says, what's the painting you're working on now? This one is one of my cookie cutter rainbows. It is this little series guide, and I found an extra panel the other day so I can do another one too. These are my cookie cutter rainbows these are, what are these, 8x8 or 10 by, I think they're 8x8 oil on panels. I use cookie cutters because they're adorable. Absolutely adorable. And based on my own inspiration from the bubble painting, I used cookie cutters instead of just a random circle to make these little series, and I am in love with these. Thank you for asking too, by the way, Ryan. I really appreciate that. There's a fundraiser out in Arizona that I'm like, well, if I can get this done, maybe we can work something out. So I work in rotation with a lot of my pieces and a lot of my projects. So like at any time I've got 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 pieces working right now at least. Oh, and then also 9 pieces plus 5, so we're at 14. Yeah, I have at least 14 different pieces of artwork working at any given moment. So I rotate in between all of those. And for many reasons. And then there's also setting up photography for prints, and then there's bookkeeping, and then there's also website design and customer service and all sorts of things. So it's like literally, I wish there were more hours in the day, so much so. Because, or I just need, here's the thing. I should just be independently wealthy, and like everybody should be independently wealthy. And then that way I could just hire people who love to do that sort of thing, and I can just paint all day long and not have to worry about any of the back end stuff, because that would be glorious. Not that I don't enjoy necessarily doing it, I just really love to paint. And I really like to talk to everybody. Hannah's here. Hi, Hannah. I'm loving your orange cardigan. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm loving your corgi. Let's see. Rachel's tagging. Lauren, says, be right back if I make it on time from shuffling. Oh, gosh. I give you strength. I feel you. You're going to do great. It's going to be easy. It's going to go so fast. You're going to just blow right through it. You're going to surprise yourself in how great and how fast and how easy your shoveling went. It's going to be the easiest shoveling you've ever had. Right? That's what I would say. Out there. Rachel's tagged Becky Hollister. Thank you very much. And Leah says, wow, that's amazing. How many hours per day do you work? Well, I scaled back. I am one of those people who does not know when to stop, ever. I am definitely an overworker. And I have to have reminders to stop. I have to be told to eat. I don't get hungry like everybody else. I am not food motivated, so like a lot of times I forget. If I'm not careful, and I mean this, if I'm not careful and I don't have set reminders, and this is another reason why I appreciate my cat so much, who comes and bothers me literally 5 times a day to feed her, because if she didn't do that, I wouldn't take a break. And so she's been able to train me, actually. I really, truly do appreciate my old cat who has to be fed 5 times a day, because she's actually trained me to take breaks. And if that's not life working for you, I don't know what is. If I didn't do that and she didn't train me to do that, I would honestly go for about 14 hours straight and probably wouldn't take a break. I might take a potty break here and there, but I guarantee you I wouldn't stop. And I probably wouldn't be too affected by it. I mean, my body would be affected by it. I would take a toll, but I wouldn't notice it if I were in the middle of something. I can honestly work for an exceptionally long time and very straight through. It's to a fault. It really is. You have to take breaks every hour. You walk around and do things. And take time. And this is one thing I do struggle with, and I highly encourage everybody else to take time, relax, play stupid video games, do whatever it is that can help you de-stress, because it's a hard lesson to learn. And part of the reason is I honestly love what I do. I love to paint, and I love the work that I do. I love my clients. I love all of you. I love my life. And I don't think that I'd be able to go that long if I didn't really love it. So a lot. If I had my way, I'd be painting, honestly, from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. I love it. I get a little jealous, though, because I hear, like, a lot of artists, like, every once in a while I get, like, one of those peak experiences where artists are like, I feel like I'm flying every time that I paint. And I'm like, I don't. And I think that's why I can go for so long, because I think the normal average for people painting is like 3 or 4 hours they can do it straight, and I'm like, that's like 12, 14 for me. And I think part of it is I'm not getting the same kind of reaction that I think other people are, so it's like easier on my body somehow, if that makes sense. Oh, Brian says, if you come to Arizona, please let me know. Oh, absolutely. Hey, I could just go on tour. I would love that. I would like to take a camper and just head up state to state. Ryan says, I need a maid, LOL. You and me both, buddy. And Ryan says, I don't get hungry either. I have to have reminders as well. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I see kind of anecdotally with people with autism, and I don't want to speak, I can't speak for anybody but myself, ever. So there's no way, shape, and or form that I can understand how anybody experiences like color or sound or taste, or nobody can. So we can only truly speak for ourselves. But just anecdotally, I completely understand what you mean by like not. Oh, Shiki's here. Hi, Shiki. Yeah, just some things that I've noticed for me personally that I really resonate with is like the not being hungry thing, the strong sense of justice, right? Like you can tell instantly when somebody's not telling you the truth. It's very easy to spot. There's something with the language, like we speak a different language, and it's so fun. She says, missed you. I missed you too. I miss everybody. Today's what, Tuesday? Oh, we're here. We're here again, everybody, where we don't know what day it is. It's Tuesday, right?
The most productive day.
The most productive day. My favorite day is Tuesday because it is the most productive day. Leah says, you are so awesome and inspiring. Thank you. Sending you a non-invasive virtual high five. Yes. Or it's like my husband and I say all the time, we're like, or a mold-friendly thumbs up. Shiki says, absolutely. You guys are amazing. Yeah, I'm just noting, like, that's the other thing too. I like the lives really help because then I can go back, like I said, I was saying earlier, for anybody who wasn't here, I was saying earlier, last night I rewatched last night's live, and I was honestly surprised. I'm like, oh, watching myself on camera, because I very rarely do I understand how I'm in any way different than anybody else. I've been really struggling with this. I'm like, I don't understand how I'm so different. How would anybody, whatever. And as I've learned to not mask as much, please cover his ears, Lars. As I've learned to like not mask as much, I think this is like my first time as far as just being just myself. I think I've always pretty been myself, but not like, I think at the same time I was still masking. So now that I'm kind of embracing this non-masking thing, because honestly it's, as long as Lars loves me, I'm pretty okay with life. I was watching myself on video last night and I was like, wow, if you didn't know any better, you'd think that girl was a little different. I think my words were, to the uninitiated, she looks like she might have an issue, or she might have a difference or something. Interesting. And it's weird, now I'm starting to understand a little bit on how I may be different. It's very interesting to see, because I would never consider that before. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah. I can see why. And whatever. Cool. That's just who I am. Shiki says, how have you been? I see busy. Yes. And then I hear Leah says, my 5-year-old ASD global developmental display does not feel hunger or thirst, having issues with toilet training, as cannot feel it. Is so interesting to hear you feel. Yep. I honestly, okay. So past Morgan, when was a kid, same issues. Very much the same issues. Didn't always know when I had to use the bathroom. Absolutely. I'm like, I can say this, I'm 40, so I don't care, because I was a little kid and little kids grow up. I honestly had problems like holding it overnight for the longest time. Does it even matter? Like, I was like little kid. Who cares? I had problems like wetting the bed. We didn't know. We're not always connected to everything. I couldn't feel things, and then I could feel things like way too much. One of the things that was like the anecdotal thing of my whole family was I would run down, like, we had gravel driveways, and I would run down the driveway, skin my knee, scream, and then get picked up, and then scream even louder, freak out even more. So, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's relatable. I would be hypersensitive to things, and then I was told that I would do things like touch the stove, and then normally that's like, you don't touch the stove again, and I'd be like, huh, interesting, touch it again. And they'd be like, don't touch the stove, and then I, again, would do it. And I'd get burned, and then just would do it again. So I don't know. And the thing is, though, is that I think that also it's a matter of like hooking up and refining and all sorts of things. And again, just my experience. From where I sit, the way that I understand it is it's more like the system's coming online for me, and kind of like building those neural networks, but like in a different way and probably a little slower. I feel like I've been like a late bloomer for everything, and then whenever I go through like some kind of brain upgrade, I guess, it's like super dramatic. But again, that's just been my experience. There's no way I can possibly understand what it's like for anybody else. I wouldn't even know what the color green is to anybody else. Shika says Aiden went through that for a while, yeah. Leah says, I just let him be him. He will do it in his own time and his own schedule. Oh my goodness, that sounds just like my baby boy. Yeah, and that's another reason too. I really want to make sure that I share even like the embarrassing stuff, because like that was me. And I don't think, and like I had serious difficulties growing up as far as like family issues and stuff, and how I turned out this way, I don't know. I'll be honest, like I've gone to therapy before and sat down and been like, here's my family history and here's where I've been. Statistically, I know I shouldn't exist. How am I here? And they're like, we don't know. We have no idea. You should definitely not be as normal as you are. And I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. And I think that, honestly, a big part of it, as I understand psychology a little bit more and more, it has to do with the emotional anchor of some things. And because the emotional anchor of some of these, past traumas is a little differently, thanks to my hardwiring, I think I was able to avoid a whole mess of problems. So it really served me well. And I have to think, I honestly believe it's because of my brain differences, of which, again, I say I'm very, very grateful that I am who I am, because it could have been very different. Part of that too is that I knew growing up that I would be statistically more prone to these things, to not living necessarily not living the life that I want to really live, or what we call an ideal situation. So I made a very cognizant decision when I was about 17 years old that I would not be a statistic. That I would do whatever it took to not be a statistic. And so I did. I guess I made the decision, and I guess the decision was it. I think that's how it actually works. And I, eventually learned to figure it out. And I think for humans, I think just on the whole, as soon as we make a decision and we absolutely commit to that decision, we practice that every single day, no matter what it is, we'll get there. Let's see. Make sure you have any comments. I don't see anything just yet. Honestly, sometimes I still have a really hard time understanding exactly how I'm different. I feel like I'm just as much everybody else, maybe just pumped up by like 30%. I think that like my dials are just set up, a third or so higher in a way, but not in like, more in a like information input way. Does that make sense? Because I don't ever want to come across as, something other than this is just how I kind of experience things. I know that I have more intensity. So I think that plays a role in a lot of situations. Aiden took a while with almost everything when he was little. How old is Aiden now? I forget. I know so many. I love hearing about your guys' kids. I really do. Yeah, it's interesting how I hear like some parents, they say things like, when they turned like 11 or so, they were different, and some people say when they were. I think everybody's just so different. He's 15. Oh, cool. Yeah, so you know, like that's got you've seen. I mean, how has that been for you, Shiki? If you don't mind sharing a little bit, would you mind? And like seeing just incrementally, like where was he at, say, 10? Was there a major difference? At 7, was there a major difference? Because I think that for me, I hear a lot of parents who are like, my 5-year-old's acting this way, and I'm like, well, you got to just let him be 5. You do what's best, Mama, because Mama's knows best, for sure. And everybody's life path is only going to make sense to you. Nobody, like, think about it that way. Like, yeah, your life path definitely has to make sense to you and your family, and I highly encourage everybody to, really examine their beliefs. But just because I know that I have to constantly make sure that I know what I'm talking about, because the world changes and also perspectives change, and it's amazing. I had a point, and then ADHD took it away. I forgot what I was saying. I lost my thread. It'll either come back or it wasn't important, so we relax into the ether. For me, 15, again, this is just me. 15, I think, is about the time that I became like dyslexic, because I was reading before then pretty well, and then I had been through some trauma though. So, Shiki says he's had a lot of difficulties, but every age difference was something different. Now he's more of the behavioral part, yes, and me having to repeat myself. Woo, teenagers. Yeah. I am so with you on the teenager. I mean, I don't know what kind of challenges you have at home right now. I think the 15-year-old really just clicked, and I'm like, oh, we have a 13-year-old here. And it's like, teenagers scare me. They don't scare me. I shouldn't say that. Teenagers are wonderful, and it's incredible to see like their insights as they change throughout the years, and see how they evolve as human beings. I think what I'm afraid with teenagerdom, honestly, is that it's just going to go by too fast. Like, I think that I feel like I think that's really my fear, and why I'm scared of teenagers, because I think maybe I have a feeling it's going to go by too fast for me. And like before I know it, they're just going to be gone, and I'm like, I don't know if I like that. Shiki says it's hard. Also, he's going through puberty. Yeah. My whole heart is with you. For real. Like, for real. Shiki says, believe me, I look at them and I feel all the same. Leah says, oop, I just turned off my husband's phone. Darn it. You know what, mark that. Leah says, you are building an amazing, safe, open community on your lives. Thank you. Thank you for saying so. I really, truly hope so. I thank you so much, sir. I do want a safe place for everybody to come and talk and learn about things. I'll fully just say, embarrassing things about myself, because quite frankly, unless you're my husband, I really don't care. And I have to get to that place though, and not say that I don't care, because I do care about everybody. And the reason why I say that though is because I have to be comfortable with myself saying things like, no, I was a bedwetter for a long time. Because unless I wouldn't be able to say that if I was insecure about myself, or if I was insecure about my relationship, or that I was going to be left in the dust or something ridiculous. But being able to say that and being open about it now, as I am a fully grown adult and responsible for my own decisions, I think it might provide some comfort. And I mean, quite frankly, when I think about it, who didn't? We're adults. We can talk about stuff. I'm like I'm still in the same body. It was maybe not my best time. So it's, Violin Hero is watching. Hi, how are you? Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're here. Shiki says, you guys are, I love talking to you. I'll say it again. I feel very connected to you, Morgan. Thank you, Shiki. I feel connected to you too. And I love the fact, because at this point, Aiden's 15. You speak the language. So do you know what I mean by that? Like the truth speaker, whatever it is. There's a language and cadence to it. And I think because you've been gone through 15 years, you're among the initiated? Or does he say that he feels understood? Or I'm just curious. I think more than anything. What am I looking for there? Why am I asking that question? Should I be questioning why I'm asking that question? This is where I get confused. Shiki says, absolutely. Well, I just walked through it. I had to think out loud. I don't even know if I'm thinking all my thoughts together inside my brain. So unless I'm talking out loud, I might miss something. I need significant time to do that in my life. I just want to make sure I'm covering my bases. I'm just looking at my phone and I'm seeing where I am due to the delay. And it's pretty funny. Or my husband's phone, excuse me. Oh, 42 comments? I have not seen 42 comments. Anybody who's commenting, I am so sorry. Oh, Brian says, I have had that happen. It hurt me. Some people will take that and twist it and then bully you with it. Some people will take it and twist it and then bully you with it. Oh, like for saying things like, I wet the bed? What do I care? Come at me, bro. I mean, seriously, who's going to make fun of me? I don't care. Like, they did it too. And he said, I've had that happen. It hurt me. Here's the deal. Anybody who reacts to me and says bullying things about that, I guarantee you they did it then and they do it now. Because nobody's going to react negatively to me if they did it and have compassion for themselves. If they love themselves and they can accept themselves, nobody's going to come after me for that. Nobody's going to come after anybody. Only the insecure people who literally have a reaction because they don't like that part of themselves. It has nothing to do with me. It's 2019 and here we are. It's not that. It's only now. It gets easier though. It takes a lot of practice. I'll say that. I'm working on it every day, and I don't always get it right by any stretch of the imagination. Chigi says, yes, I agree. Ryan said, I've had a lot of people misunderstand my autism. I agree with that. I think that I think until we as a human race start to understand that we need to understand each other for individuals and not so much our differences but our samenesses, that things will start to kind of blur the lines. I think that we need to get used to seeing people as people and not as anything else. And I don't know why it is that we judge so much each other, because we really shouldn't. I think we want to just feel better about ourselves and somehow, I don't know, compare one another. Who knows? But that's more competitive. Oh, yeah, I remember now. So a while ago, I decided I was reading a book, and there's something, there's a difference between the competitive lifestyle and the creative lifestyle. Creative lifestyle doesn't compete. We share and we promote others. I promote other artists all the time. Absolutely. Because their success does not take anything away from mine. My success doesn't take anything away from anybody else's. In a creative life, and that's really what I had to wrap my head around, is getting into the kind of creative life and how this all worked for me. It made all the difference in my world, in my whole world in existence. and going through the creative, not the competitive process. She's 49 comments. I'm serious when I say I wish I could see all the comments, because I know that there's good ones, and I know that there are kids. Ryan says kids with autism getting bullied a lot. Sometimes adults with autism get bullied too. It really stinks because of the expectations of others get dumped on others. Yeah, it does. Any kind of bullying shouldn't happen, but bullying is a sign of the person who's doing the bullying, not the person who's getting picked on. Because the person who's doing the bullying they're reacting to something that they don't like in themselves. Surround yourself with good people. Have your positive peer groups. Don't look for trouble. Do the things that make you happy, and those people go away. They just do. I know it's easier said than done a lot of times, but it's what you focus on. Really, what you focus on is what happens the most. It's a kind of a brain hack, I want to say. So, honestly and absolutely, what we think about most and what we that's why I always want to examine my beliefs and how I feel and think about things, because the subconscious runs really the show. So whatever your subconscious decides or believes is what's going to happen around you and shape your environment and the people that you attract into your life, because you're going to look for them. If I have a limiting belief on something and I may not realize it, or if I've got a problem that keeps resurfacing, I need to challenge all of the aspects that I believe in those areas and really get crystal clear on how I feel and think about anything revolving around a conflict. So by doing that, I can really come to terms and reprogram my own beliefs and my own subconscious that way, and start looking for all of the things that I want instead of the things I don't want. If that makes any sense. And again, this is just something I can only speak about for myself. It's just how I've learned to navigate kind of life and things that have helped me along the way. I got a little love heart. Thank you. Yeah, bullies are just not cool. But you don't go where bullies are. I had a boss ask me once if there was anything that I couldn't do. Because I'm one of those, I hate to say this, I am one of those annoying people who literally can look at anything and be like, oh no, that's easy, I can do it right now. And it drives people nuts. And I trust me when I say I've gotten feedback on it. It's not a lot of positive stuff. But I had a boss once ask me if there's anything that I couldn't do. And I was like, I'm sure there's lots of things I can't do. I don't do those things though. Or if I do, I challenge myself and then I conquer. But it's just, you have to, whatever your heart song is and whatever makes sense to you, that's your, just as I learned last night in Happy Feet, everybody's heartbeat and everybody's heart songs are different, and you have to literally march to your own drummer. Everybody has a different way, and it's only going to make sense to you. It's so much fun. Leah says, that's amazing. Bullies are lost souls. Bullies need therapy. They need hugs. They need lots of hugs. They need to give themselves hugs. Anybody who's that upset doesn't love themselves, and that's unfortunate. Shiki says, used to really upset me when Aiden was little and would go out to eat. People would always look. Nowadays, I just look back and catch up. I look back, catch up, and make them feel uncomfortable with a smile. I used to. Yeah. Who cares? Not in any kind of mean way. I mean, if you guys are happy, then why? Don't change anything for anybody else. Be you. Be happy. And I think it's beautiful, honestly. Kudos to you for seriously smiling and responding with love. Yeah, when the world, I think it's such a special thing to be able to do. When the world gives you hate and you respond with love, or at least don't react to it, it really speaks to your character, and it's something that I truly appreciate. So thank you, Shiki, for being a great example, because it is definitely that way when you can, respond with love and say, because I'll tell you a story. Like, I actually, did everybody have time for a story? You want to hear a sad story? That's actually pretty good, but still sad. It's not like devastating. It's kind of, I have a yes. Okay, so one of the things that happened when I was about 11 or so is I actually was adopted, but kind of in the family, so they still knew like my biological mom. And I had gone back and forth through a couple of households around that time because it was incredibly difficult to deal with. And and so I shifted around between a couple of different households. And I think I was around 11 or 12. And through a couple of years, it was during like junior high, I want to say. And during those couple of years, I have a lot of kind of muddled memories about, so exactly what grade I was, I don't know. But in any case, at one point I had just had enough because I had not been treated well at all, and I decided that was it. So I was living with my biological mom at the time, who I had not known for all of my life. And after, I think we spent a total of maybe 6 months, not really, I want to say less than a year. I don't know. To be completely frank and completely honest, I don't know. It was not a long enough time for anybody to get to know one another, that's for sure. And so I had actually had enough and decided I was running away. And so I did. I packed up my stuff and I went to my principal's office and I said, I'm not going home. And he said, well, you have to go home. And I said, well, they're hurting me, so no. I had been like, it was at the age of discipline. And so I refused to. And so the principal went to pick up the phone and I said in my very clear voice, if you call my mother, I will take your job. I know my rights. And he put down the phone. And then I went to a hospital and I stayed there for a while. And because like I had a black eye the whole week and I told people about it and nobody said anything. And I was like, well, I literally went to go that day to go on the school bus. And I took a half step towards the school bus and I heard a voice in my head say, you get on that bus, your life is over. So I didn't. And I walked literally into my principal's office and I said, blah, blah, blah. If you call my mother, I will take your job. I know my rights. And he put down the phone. Then I went to a therapy place, like hospital, and it was way too long there because like nobody wanted me. Here's the kicker though. And when I talk about like the negative voice and also why I don't get upset when other people say things to me, especially bullies, here's why. At some point during all of this, my mother, who again, I had not known for nearly enough for her to say anything to me, says, looked me square in the eye and said, I can't honestly say I loved you a day in my life. And I was like, you're right, it's supposed to be devastating. Well, it's not. And this is why. That comment was locked and loaded. She's been walking around with that voice in her head this whole time. Somebody said that to her because that was the cruelest thing that she could possibly come up with. It didn't affect me at all. We didn't know each other. I didn't identify with her as my mom. It didn't, honestly, I remember breaking down and crying, but wondering why I was crying, and then realizing it's for her that I'm crying. And also for her benefit, she needed to believe that. She had had a tough time. She didn't understand what was necessarily wrong with me and why I couldn't connect with her, and she thought that there was something wrong with her. She's been hearing that voice in her head, and in no way, shape, and or form do I condemn that person. It's what she needed to do to cope. It had nothing to do with me. She could not have known me enough to say something like that. It's how she dealt with things. And quite frankly, I feel sorry for her. I don't hold any animosity and I don't hold any hatred for anybody because that's a horrible voice to be living in your head, that is locked and loaded. Am I right? Which makes it a lot easier then to forgive the individual who says something so mean. At least in my world it did. Does that make sense? And I honestly, like today, I wish she knew that it wasn't her fault. I think she blamed herself a lot because I was different, and it's sad. I wouldn't want anybody to feel that way. I love my life. I love who I am. And Shiki says, "You are so strong." Thank you. It took a long time to get there. I had to really analyze it and look at it and understand what was going on. So like this is pretty confusing because I'm like, why would she say? And I think it's honestly somebody might have said that to her. But that's a horrible voice to live with. I wish she would love herself, and I wish she would forgive herself and know that none of this was any of her fault. I am happy, I am healthy, and I mean, what else is there? Right? And also, like, I don't have to worry about embarrassing my mom. I could do whatever I want on camera. Diana Woods here. Is it your mom's friend? I love your mom's friends. Hey Lars, is Diana Wood your mom's friend?
Yes.
Hi Diana, I love you. Dawn says, we love you, Morgan. I love you too. Ryan said, my mom couldn't understand me and I had a very rough childhood. Yep, I did too. A lot of teasing, a lot of, I was very heavily disciplined. I'll tell you this, when I became a boxer, it was, that's the reason why I became a boxer. No more. Because the people who raised me were all about like military school and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yay, I love the military. It's hard to understand other people. It's like one of those things, I think with anybody and ourselves, it's hard to even understand ourselves. And I don't think that we can understand anybody else until we can understand ourselves first. Shiki says, say hi to Lars. Hi, Lars from Shiki. And Eden. So, and that's another reason why I can share that story. It's like, well, maybe, hopefully, there's some catharticism in there for anybody else who needs to kind of reframe some of this stuff. So at any point in time, we can also reframe our memories and understand that people were trying to do their very best. And that situation in the story that I just told where, she said something completely egregious, I can understand that that was her best, right? That she needed to be that, and that was just a role that had to happen. That was a role that needed to be played. She didn't know any better, and I can forgive that. People grow and they evolve. That was a long time ago, and she's probably a completely different person now. Because I know I am, right? So. See if I have any other comments. Not many. I guess everybody's just been listening. Ryan says you're very smart. Thank you. Heavily is being used. Ryan says heavily is being loosely used. Yeah. Leah says, are any other members of your family autistic or neurodiverse? Yes, so many. A lot of ADHD. I think. I know that I was diagnosed as a kid. Again, early 80s, and the same people who saw that there was something wrong with me then went on to have like 9 other kids. So, and none of them were ever diagnosed as autistic. But yeah, no, I think everybody's got something, right? Hi, Carrie. I think everybody, okay, so here's my personal belief, and take it or leave it with a grain of salt, seriously, or several cups of salt, I don't know. But like, I kind of feel like if we're not necessarily born neurodiverse, life happens, and life can happen and cause diversity. I mean, right? Things happen and they change you, they shape you. Life experiences change all sorts of things for everybody, and then we're always going to be a little bit diverse. Carrie says hi. Hi, Carrie. So, yes, I know that there's ADHD for sure. I don't know. I really don't talk to any of them. Sorry. I will say that I know my biological father, and he was a computer programmer in 1978, if that gives you any indication that I might have been predisposed genetically. He's very, I would probably say he might show up on the scale. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really know him well enough. I'm just saying, anecdotally, he is a programmer since 1978, and that usually, it might be a clue. I've run out of space. I've got as I was saying earlier, I've got 15, 19, something like that, paintings working right now. So a lot of stuff going on. I feel like this was a really good session today, and I'm really grateful for everybody who asked questions and who, I feel like it was really good. I really want to thank everybody for popping on live today with me and kind of going through some of this stuff. I hope it helps. I honestly hope it helps. I hope that you can take something from it if it serves you. Leave what doesn't. If you don't agree, absolutely, that's completely fine. I'm just one person. It's just these are just my life experiences. This is and tell your own story too. Absolutely tell your own story too. And I just think it's neat that we get to find out so much about ourselves during life. Crystal says, do you have contact with your mom now? Does she know what an amazing life you built for yourself despite the childhood you had? Actually, none of them know, which is hilarious. I think some of them know I'm a little bit of an artist. She blocked me on Facebook. Right? It's fine. Like I said, it's it doesn't have anything to do with me. No, it's funny. I was telling my husband, this is why also too, I'm I can pretty much do whatever I want. First of all, I'm an artist, so I can pretty much get away with anything I want to do as long as I say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm an artist, and I'm autistic. I literally have a free pass, and I use it. I think we should all use it. But no, I was telling my husband, I'm in every one of my major accomplishments in life, nobody who I ever grew up with was ever there to see it. They have no idea. They don't. I don't know. I mean, eventually, I'm sure they'll find out. But I made undergraduate with the Air Force, and I did the whole shake, take, salute, and everybody goes up to do undergraduate's big deal, right? And so everybody's going up, and all these camera bulbs are going off, and everybody's taking phones with the pictures and hooting and hollering and clapping, and I go up and it's crickets. There is nobody there. Nobody even knew that I graduated. Oh well. Carrie says, haha, I love the artist card. No one questions my blue hair because I'm an artist. Yeah, no, play the artist card all the time. Absolutely. Why not? Yeah, people are you have tattoos? Artist. I draw on the walls. Mm-hmm. That's a fun t-shirt. I'm an artist. I can do whatever I want. Interesting, whatever. And it's you can just... That's why I said everybody should be an artist, right? Give yourself permission to have fun and play and to do the art things and create things, because I think it's pretty cathartic, first of all. You explore more of who you are, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I don't mind the fact that nobody in my family really knows, because again, I didn't really connect too well with them, and I think that that's designed that way in my particular situation, because if it had been any other way, I don't think that I'd be able to come on camera and talk to you all about my life and my life experiences, because I might be too then, I think I might be a little too, I don't want to say self-conscious or think that I'm betraying somebody, or betraying like my family or the people of my tribe or who I grew up with by talking about my experiences, I probably wouldn't be as open. And so by design, I think it really worked out for me and for everybody else, because the only person that I have to really answer to is myself, just like anybody else. The only people that we ever have to answer to is ourselves and take responsibility for our own actions. But it definitely helps that I don't have any of those kind of programs or hang-ups hanging around the back of my head, because I think that would it did affect me actually for a long time. I was very quiet and didn't say anything to a lot of people about a lot of stuff for a long time because I was afraid of maybe like embarrassing my family, until I really thought about it and I was like, hold on, I can really do whatever I want. As long as I'm not hurting anybody, I'm staying within my integrity, and we all know what's right and what's wrong. As long as I am staying true to myself and I have integrity and doing good, then why do I worry? Just have fun and do the good things. Cami Whammy's here. Hi, Cami. Yes, do whatever you want, and if people laugh, feel bad for them for being so dull. That was about the blue hair comment and such comments. Oh, Carrie's awesome. You guys would like each other a lot. Leah says, artist freedom. Absolutely. And you know what? Everybody's an artist. You guys are the best. Seriously, I love this so much. And now I'm seeing more comments. Ryan says, how did you overcome it, Morgan? Which particular part? The not embarrassing my family. Well, because like they don't like me. My family doesn't like me. I'm not really like my family-in-law is amazing and they like me, and that's great because I really like them. They're also extremely accepting. They raised my husband, and he has taught me more about accepting other people and accepting myself than anybody I've ever met in my life. So if he's okay with me, I feel like I'm +1, because I think first and foremost I have to be okay with my decisions, and then also my husband is proud of me and he likes the work that I do, and that's a definite +1. And I mean, honestly, that's awesome. Oh wow, up to 73 comments. I am not reading 73 comments. Whew. The part about your family and childhood, I will tell you how I overcame that, right? I absolutely will. It went a little something like this. So I had been through the ringer, and I mean the friggin' ringer. I'll write a book and you guys will read all about it. It was rough. I overcame it a couple of ways. First of all, I was bound and determined not to be a statistic. I absolutely refused to be a statistic, and I said, I'm going to get therapy, and I'm going to work someone through these issues. So I did do that. In my early 20s, I put myself through therapy, and because I wanted to make sure that I was going to be okay. It was and wasn't. It still was a rough time. I was definitely a late bloomer. Eventually what it came down to, what the turning point for me is that I felt, you know what it was? The X-Men came out. That's what it was. This is why we need superheroes in our life, and this is why that is amazing, and humans are amazing. Because when the X-Men came out and they were talking about like them raiding on the whole school, and Professor X is like, I feel a great swell of pity for anybody who comes and tries to come after these kids because they're all, talented and everything. And it resonated with me, and it was just enough for me to make sense. I felt a great swell of pity for anybody who tried to break a little kid and couldn't. And still I got up, and I still fought back, and I was able to do it, and I did it on my own. So I felt a great swell of pity for anybody who tried to break a little girl and couldn't. That's how. And you can feel the same way. So, oh, there's my angry face on delay. Cami says, I didn't catch the beginning, but I don't have contact with my mom, and the relief was not being invited to Thanksgiving this year and not having to lie about not going anymore. I told him to stop even asking. It's awful to keep my abuser around, and I'm not comfortable going. It's such a relief not to have to lie anymore. I hear you. Hey, you gotta do you. Like, if it's not serving you, then you can let it go. That's do what's best for you. You know? And if you can come to a bridge and an agreement, that's fantastic. It really is. And I encourage everybody to try and get to those places because it can be completely cathartic and healing really can happen. But if you're not at that place, you need to be safe for you. It's just what I would say. Again, just one person trying to do my very best. Cami says I wasn't able to keep therapy due to constantly losing jobs, insurance, and having to start over. I'm still not doing very well at 35 now. I'm actually getting worse, but trying to, like hell despite my struggles. Keep going, you'll get there, I promise. I read a lot of audiobooks. Hoopla and Libby really helped me a lot. Ryan says, I'm still struggling with my childhood. This year I didn't want my mom around me, period. I can't do it anymore. Yeah, I get it, guys. I do. Yeah, I would honestly, there's so many, so one of the reasons why I do the self-helpery book rounds is because there is so much insight. Like, Ryan, if you're not reading self-help books, oh, sir. One super one that really helped me a lot was the Greater Than the Sum of Our Parts by Dr. Schwartz. He goes through and you really start to understand how your own inner systems and your own family inner systems in your mind work. And once you can do that, things start to link up and it becomes self-replicating. And it's pretty powerful stuff. Jordan Patrick says, have a good day, Morgan. Thanks, you too, Jordan. I didn't know you were here. I didn't see you. Oh, you're the best. And it's just my suggestion. Leah says, sending everyone who is having a tough time so much love. Yes. I love to everybody who's having a tough time. You guys, you're doing great. I know sometimes it feels like you're not where you're supposed to be, but I guarantee you're in perfect timing, and this too shall pass. It will. Thank you so much, Leah, for saying something. Thank you. Cami says, Greater Than Summer Parts by who? Dr. Schwartz. Can you Google that real quick? I listen to it on audio, and it's like my personal therapist because he talks about your inner family systems and the different kind of personalities that we have and the different voices in our heads and where they all come from and the reframing of things and really getting to know yourself in psychology. It's amazing. Think about the movie Inside Out. It's really brilliant. Crystal says, I really do hope you write a book of your life story. I would absolutely love to read that. Take my money now. You're fantastic. I'm going to absolutely write a book because Kimmy says, thanks. You're welcome. What is so funny? My husband's cracking up.
The take my money now comment was funny.
Take my money now. Yes, Fry. I love Futurama. Shut up and take my money.
I've got the thing here. What information?
Who is the author of Greater Than the Sum of Our Parts?
Dr. Richard Schwartz.
Dr. Richard Schwartz. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he takes you through the inner family systems and he's like, I was a psychologist for so long. Yeah, it's on Amazon. You can read it for free on Hoopla. And again, Libby are both apps that if you're in the United States and I believe Canada, that link to your public library card, and then you have audiobooks on demand, and they're free. And they're amazing. And Hoopla, you get 5 a month, I think, and then Libby is pretty unlimited. Libby has a bit of a more limited selection. It just depends on what your library has to offer. But there's so many books on there. And they're all in glorious audio, and I love them so much. I think I've read no less than at least 100 books this year, would you say?
Oh,
Easily 100? Yeah, I think I reached and then I read them over and over again too. I like to read books to the point, I wear out books. So I'll read a book over and over again until I understand it the way the author understands it, because then I feel like I've uploaded that program. See? And then I go back and do it again and again and again. Cami says, wow. Just see if it's any new comments on here. Again, Facebook. I'm reading every comment as I see them. So if I'm not reading your comment, I truly apologize. Facebook doesn't always show me what's going on. Kimmy says, Hoopla, and what was the other one? I have to keep close out and look up stuff. Libby, Libby. It's part of Overdrive. So I can actually I usually make it a point to mention that every step that I get, because books and reading are so important. I believe that we're all in charge of our own education, and that does not mean anything. It was like for universities, and I think that's supplemental, to be quite frank. I think that school is supplemental to our own education. But that's just me. And also, school's great, and everybody should be like, I'm a lifetime learner. I absolutely will learn till the ends of days, and then keep going, because I love to learn. Facebook's AI is overreactive. Yeah, it is. Ryan says it gets better. Yeah. I'm going to assume that's just about all the comments that I have there. So, yeah, I really hope that I'm making everybody feel heard and understood. I truly, honestly want that for everybody. So if I didn't read your comment, I apologize. I have been on for an hour, though, so I do need to take a break. I want everybody to have a super great day. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And you guys, honestly, best questions ever, an amazing insight by everybody who showed up. I'm so glad. If anything, take what serves, leave what doesn't, by all means. You guys are the best. Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much. All right. I'm going to go hop off, go grab something to eat, because that's what I have to do. I have to schedule that stuff. And have a super great day. We'll be back on live tonight at 7 with Lars and myself. And I'm not entirely sure the topic that we'll be talking about today, but we'll discuss it during the day. If you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about, by all means, pop them in the comments, or if there's something that we're not covering, let us know. We absolutely love to talk to everybody, and are honestly just trying to share a little bit about what we know and maybe make things a little bit more normal. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you tonight. All right. Bye.